Diablo 4 fumbles again. I've heard that there's been some recent drama with Diablo 4. Oh boy. Here we go.
Diablo 4 just stumbled again, setting up Path of Exile 2 and grinding your games for the biggest Blizzard dunk of all time. It's insane how many fumbles this massive studio and this game in particular can have. At this point, it's truly ridiculous, unfathomable to someone on the outside, but probably completely reasonable to someone on the inside. Time after time,
I still think that this guy right here intentionally said the thing about the stash tabs because he knew that it was so fucking stupid that and nobody would take him seriously internally, that he told the public so everybody could see how fucking ridiculous it was.
Up for success titan called Diablo 4 fails to deliver the proper message and follow through. This is all the while one of its largest competitors, Grinding Gear Games and Path of Exile 2, take the proper path and continue to put time, effort, and conscious delays into their product to ensure it reaches the maximum quality threshold for us consumers, for the players. GGG isn't aiming for a minimum viable product, which is what Diablo...
Minimum viable product is what you call a AAA game. Minimum viable product is whenever the company doesn't want to finish the game, but they still want to get paid for it. And the reality is that every game has this level, and it's really up to the consumer to decide what's okay or what's not.
4 truly seems to be. They're aiming to be the best, explicitly in their marketing for the game and implicitly in the
interesting thing about quadruple A games is that the barrier for a minimum viable product is actually lower. And this is what will happen. The more A's that you attach to the game, the lower the bar for minimum viable product will be. Like, by the time that you get to, like, 8A games, you're just going to have a menu. It's going to be $600.
Itself. Even when people play Path of Exile 1, the game shouts that it is the best possible product for a certain segment of individuals. Diablo 4 doesn't do that currently. It didn't do that in the past, and it's quite unlikely it'll do it in the future either. Instead, it reeks of being the minimum viable product for as many different player types as possible. That's not going to cut it. This video explores the mind-boggling mishaps related to Diablo 4, how its primary rival continues to thrive, grow, and prepare thanks to these issues, and why these positive consequences shall likely continue to be the norm for this rival and many others, despite Blizzard's best efforts to snuff the fiery torches that represent their competitors' livelihoods. I mean,
I don't think that even Diablo is trying to compete against PoE or Last Epoch. I don't think that they can. I think they're just trying to make a really average, like, run-of-the-mill Diablo fantasy game just to get the Diablo dads, you know, hyped up every 6 months or so. You know, it's basically like, what's the difference between Diablo 4 and like a farm and a slaughterhouse for cows? Well, at least you get a steak out of a slaughterhouse.
Wants to bet the Diablo 4 Gauntlet update will be on February 20th. The day before Last Epoch 1.0 officially
It's a cow
launches.
level, yeah.
I'll make that bet. All right, without further
It's all the
ado,
players.
let's get to it. While the most recent stumble by Blizzard is the most fresh in all our minds, there's a comprehensive list of stumble by Blizzard.
Seeing the excitement of the Gauntlet, we're still on track for Season 3, but decided to take a bit more time to polish a few things up, so it won't be launching on February... Wait, so they delayed? I didn't even know this. They delayed...
Oh. By Blizzard is the most fresh in all our minds. There's a comprehensive list of hilarious and shockingly incompetent failings.
This is impressive.
Wrapped around the launch, development, and content releases of Blizzard's latest
cool
huge product,
boss, to be fair.
Diablo 4. Every single one paves the path even smoother for their rivals, which Blizzard cares a ton about, obviously. Of course, other companies care about Blizzard and how they compete against them too, but Blizzard is bulky enough to throw their weight around and overpromise while under-delivering. Sometimes...
Well, if Blizzard wants to beat their competitors, why don't they just make a better game? Like, I feel like, wouldn't that kind of do it? Because, like, if they're having all these problems in the market and everybody keeps playing their game or playing the other games, why don't they just make a game that's better than the games that the other people are playing? Because I feel like that, well, I mean, that would kind of like solve the problem. You wouldn't need as much market. I don't know. I feel like that'd be easier at this point. You don't have to hire celebrities.
Oh, it really backfires. We can venture all the way back to 2011 during the Diablo 3 launch and auction house
Error
fiasco.
37.
Blizzard endeavored to be a during the Diablo 3
Oh my god.
launch and auction house.
Look at that. Oh my god. That guy sold $50. Damn, man. Those were the fucking days. Dude, I remember, I said this story like 50 times, man. I remember I sold something on the Diablo 3 auction house, and I took me, Jeff, and Austin out to eat at Panda Express, and I said, boys, welcome to the good life. We're just going to be making money from now on. I sold it for over $100.
Fiasco.
It was like half 99.
Blizzard
It's
endeavored
$250.
to be a leader in the industry and launched their new ARPG title with something unforeseen before in an official capacity.
Yeah.
A real money trading auction house. While some people enjoyed it and profited from it greatly, a truth Asmongold boasts about every time D3 is brought up.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, God. This is just predictable. I just... Fuck. I don't even have anything to say. Oh, God.
It was an unmitigated disaster for the game. Combined with
I
the
loved
ease
it.
of trade and the uninteresting itemization in launch D3, it quickly killed the game and saw its initially gargantuan user base plummet. Of course, this huge fumble from Blizzard caused them to completely remove the feature from the game in good time. Path of Exile, which officially launched 2 years into D3's run, vowed...
You guys remember? Dude, the PoE beta, everybody in chat was talking about how bad Diablo 3 was. And now in the PoE 2 beta, everybody's going to be talking about how bad Diablo 4 is.
to never endorse real money item trading. They've kept true to their word and constantly make an effort to chase down cheaters.
By the way, grinding gear games goes even farther than this. They actively discourage and punish streamers for doing giveaways on their stream for items because they view it as buying viewers, which translates to money. It is like actually like they're like the only dev that does this, and if devs didn't do this, like I don't really care that much, right? But like it does show that they do really care about the integrity of the game. They do, and I think it's great that they do that.
Scammers and those involved in suspicious activities. However, the Diablo series wasn't done with in-game monetization just yet. 7 years later in 2018, Blizzard once again ate dirt when they decided to announce the launch of a
dicks. Okay.
brand new Diablo game at a primarily PC gamer convention that was not a PC game. It was a mobile game called Diablo Immortal. Additionally, Blizzard stated that we would not be able to buy items or power in Diablo Immortal. Those slippery icemongers. They were truthful, kinda. Of course.
Well, Wyatt Chang, I remember all of the ancient text. Wyatt Chang said in an interview that you could not buy gear. And he emphasized that as a response to not being able to buy power. But as we all know, if we played Diablo Immortal, which I hope that we don't know, but I do, all of the power gains are primarily consolidated in gems, but not gear.
Once it launched in 2022, we weren't able to directly buy items for real money like launch Diablo 3, but we were able to buy currency and keys in the shop that allowed us to unlock more chests, find better items, and generally increase our character power. We were even beckoned to do so after the first major encounter in the game.
Leoric.
And then 1 year later in
that's
2019...
That's the 800% value. Art, accessories, gear. Generally, people refer to gear as things that are equipped to your character. And so because gems are equipped to gear, they're not really considered gear in the same way. Now, in Path of Exile, I would say that gems and jewels are gear, or jewels are gear because they're equipped to your talent tree, which is an extension of your character. I mean, it's all abstract, right? But like, I think that whenever you say gems, people don't think gear in the same way that whenever you say helmet.
Grinding Gear Games decided to announce their huge sequel to Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2. Additionally, they let loose the fact they were working on a mobile game as well, titled Path of Exile Mobile.
Remember whenever they introduced the guy that was making the mobile game and they had his title as like mobile game fall guy?
That was indeed a side project compared to their primary PC titles, and of course, they countered Diablo Immortal's announcement from the year prior with ease. Just like Path of Exile 1 and 2, PoE Mobile would never be pay to win, in the slightest, at all, ever. Yet another opening from Blizzard beckoning other companies to one-up them. Finally, if we flash to the recent past...
Well, it's like also, like, I mean, Blizzard, the thing is, if they had announced PoE Mobile at ExileCon, people would have been disappointed even if it wasn't pay to win. The problem really, like, is if they had announced Diablo Immortal and then they announced Diablo 4, I don't think anybody would have given a shit. I think the problem wasn't that they announced Diablo Immortal, it was that they didn't announce Diablo 4 that year.
Tumultuous present to the launch and current news cycle of Diablo 4, we should realize all of the game's issues and fumbles are making room for quite the giant to enter the scene. Especially if Blizzard saves the most requested D4 features for the basket of hatred. If one company in the
that's
ARPG
expansion
space knows how to capitalize on another company's shortcomings or fix an issue of their own, well, it's Grinding Gear Games, the minds behind Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Diablo 4 and Blizzard are stumbling so Grinding Gear Games and Path of Exile 2 can run. All the other...
I think that we also should give credit to Last Epoch, too. They've developed an audience in the market with Path of Exile being the industry leader. And I really think that's impressive. Because, PoE came out, and there was no good ARPG out at the time. Like, I think some people were playing Torchlight, and it was like, oh, what the fuck is this, right? But, like, PoE came out, and people were like, finally, now we actually have a good alternative. But, like, Last Epoch I think the fact that it can exist with a genuine, like, good market leader, that's really impressive.
Mistakes outlined before in the video, unrelated to D4, truly let Path of Exile 1 breathe. Lots of players migrated from D3 to Path of Exile 1, many of them following one of the largest D3 creators around, Kriparian. He praised Path of Exile and its developers.
That was it, man. That was it. That's what converted me. It was Krip.
Ingenuity, dedication to the genre, and seemingly true to form evolution of Diablo 2. And
I've teased this like 10 times. I have a review that I did of PoE 1 in closed beta that I never released. And I'm talking about how much I was watching Kriparian and like how good the game was. I'm talking about Diablo 3. I will one day release that video.
Many thought Blizzard would pursue with Diablo 3.
It's like a 20-minute, 30-minute video.
Stories and graphics and itemization.
Straight out of 2012.
Everything. D3 was dissimilar to Diablo 2. It gave Blizzard tremendous financial success. And then, what else? And let's not forget, this capitalization done by GGG was when they were a tiny company.
Yeah.
A group of people brought together by 3 dudes working out of a garage. Now Grinding Gear Games is a team of 175 plus developers with tons of experience on developing an ARPG. They are learning from their mistakes, both in-game and out of game. Heck, unlike Blizzard and Diablo 2 or Diablo 3...
And this is like another thing I wanted to talk about is that, like, you know PoE has a battle pass. It's called the Kirax Vault Pass, I'm pretty sure. Like, nobody really talks about that a lot, though, right? nobody really goes and like gets mad about that and like cares, because it's not really a core component of the gameplay. It's just like there if you want to use it, and if not, who cares? It's purely cosmetic. Yeah, nobody gives a shit, right? And so it's like, I think that's like another example of, remember whenever I was saying that I don't really think that people care about battle passes. I think they just care about bad gameplay, and battle passes are just like, it's like the game has bad gameplay and it has a battle pass. It's like, fuck battle passes. But I think PoE is a good example of a game that has a battle pass. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares.
They are dead set on continuing development of their sequel's prequel once the sequel releases. Three cheers for Triple G. In spite of all these stumbles from Diablo 4, a lackluster release with no actual endgame, a complete miss when it comes to itemization, botched season launches.
I mean, even the Duriel fight, like, you know how I am. The hitboxes for the circles that Duriel's ads come out from are larger than the animation, aka it's bad.
And ideas, grand promises, and complete underdelivery like the Abattoir of Zir or the Gauntlet and leaderboards, and whisperings of the basket of hatred, costing a ton of money and potentially bringing solutions to lots of D4's problems inside of it. Wow, that was quite the list. In spite of all of these, Path of Exile 2 is ready to smash their competition. Blizzard is a marketing company. They do one heck of a job advertising their games. However, when it comes to gameplay, they're just not there.
And they're not even really that great at marketing. They just have a lot of money to buy ad space and to buy like celebrity endorsements. It's not like they're really great at marketing either. They just have a lot of money to throw at it. Like, marketing is in some ways it's pay to win.
Games, on the other hand, is a game development company first. Their advertising to the average person is lackluster, but that's because they focus entirely on the gameplay. Their trailers and showcases are even centered around gameplay entirely. This is evident with everything revolving around PoE 2. As far as the beta for Path of Exile 2, it's not going to be a public hype beta like the one Blizzard held for Diablo 4, merely meant to drum up excitement for the game and serve as a way to chart up some cool graphics about how many people played in the beta. It's meant to, yes, get people talking about the game, but it's also going to be a huge actual stress test of the entire game itself.
Yeah, like the end game and everything,
Packs will be available.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the end game will be available. Players can play all of the actual character classes. It can also thoroughly test the skill system and full itemization. The Path of Exile 2 team would like us to break the game down during beta.
This is what beta tests used to be for players to test the game. That used to be what they would use beta tests for, like, a long time ago.
That the game gets a ton of exposure, which is totally feasible in a day and age where an early access game like Palworld breaks absolutely every gaming record. This can happen for Path of Exile 2, which will be the next massive ARPG launch after Diablo 4 and Last Epoch. Ah yes, Last Epoch, Blizzard's latest competitor. One would think when yet another independent studio shows you up so soon after a release that took 8,000 developers and more than 7 years to make a reality, you'd start to learn from your past mistakes and make some real changes. But before we discuss that fully, I would like to ask, if you are enjoying this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the sub notification bell, and check out my Patreon. More content like this video is on the way. Thank you for the consideration, and if you do like the video, the support. Alrighty, let's get back to it. So, shall the content shortcomings, false promises, and stunted...
Dude, whenever I was looking at the Diablo 4, like, the Diablo 4, like, Season 3 stuff, I was just like... And I hate to say it, but you know what those runes remind me of? They remind me of Torghast. I just can't go back, man.
Releases continue on with Blizzard as a whole, and Diablo 4 in particular? Yes, yes, everything will continue as usual. Am I cynical? No. Instead, I'm just stating the downright obvious. What's happened for years and years at this point? It's a fact we've all witnessed previously and are seeing now with the release of the biggest ARPG to come out since Diablo 3 in 2011. Blizzard will keep on committing the same errors relentlessly. They've proven this not only with their Diablo series, but with their other living properties as well.
I think that, like, really Blizzard is just totally mismanaged. I do. I think that, like, there's something that's wrong on, like, a core fundamental level. Because, like, WoW is, like, just so... And, like, again, maybe I'm, like, off base with this, but I think that WoW is just, like, so... Like, the identity of WoW is just gone. It's just not the same game at all. Like, Season of Discovery is good. I mean, I haven't played Season 2 yet, or Phase 2 yet. I mean, people are relatively positive, but still kind of apathetic about it, it seems. Like, Overwatch is a joke. Hearthstone, I don't think anybody cares about that game anymore. StarCraft 2, they don't even talk about it. Like, Diablo 4, it's just... how do you let that happen? It's crazy.
Reasons for this are numerous, but I think we can agree there's two massive issues that keep holding them back. One, it's the unwavering fact that new Blizzard employees refuse to steal or learn from past Blizzard employees. Instead, they strive to make something entirely new and make their mark on the gaming industry. That's not going well.
Yeah, I think that that's always, like, you remember what I said before, this is the same thing with, like, writers. It's like, it's always ego, right? It's like, oh, I can do it better. No, you can't.
At all. All the veterans who made the beloved old Blizzard games have moved on, and the employees who made mildly enjoyed Blizzard games are either gone as well or promoted to areas wherein they aren't actually developing the core games anymore.
Yep.
People steering this ship aren't knowledgeable or open to change, and even if they were, Blizzard is a Titanic-sized boat. While a more agile, smaller company might be able to see the error in their ways, shift quickly, and turn things around...
Well, here's the way I see it. Is like, remember whenever they had those two people that worked on Diablo 4 playing the game and they were really bad? Well, that had to get approved by, like, probably two different groups of people. So the fact that nobody in that entire process thought that, hey, maybe it might look bad if we have two people playing the game that don't really know what they're doing. There's never even a consideration for that. I think that says a lot more than even the people that are garbage at the game.
New can in a river, stream, or ocean, that's not possible for Blizzard. Any meaningful change will take years, and it will happen painfully slowly. Perhaps too slow to dodge the iceberg they've been heading toward for a long while now. And finally, after a long point number one, point number two, it's the money first angle every Blizzard game is built with nowadays. They want money. They want a lot of it, and they want it quick.
I don't care about them wanting money. Money's fine. You want me to pay you money? Then, well, I just want a good game. Make a good game. I don't give a fuck. Like, if the game is $80, okay, is it really good? Is it worth me spending 1,000 hours in it? If I can spend 1,000 hours in your game, I'll give you $100. That's it. Yeah, make it worth buying. Like, again, the problem is not with a lot of games. The problem is not the price of the game. It's the value proposition of the game. Like, people would be like, oh yeah, I'd spend $100 for Baldur's Gate 3. I'd spend $100 for Elden Ring. Sure. So it's like, it's not that games can't be $100. It's that the games don't provide the value proposition that makes it worth $100. That's really the solution. Like, whenever you, like, this is my perspective with, like, sales, is that lowering prices is something that you should do and you have to do in a lot of cases. But something that's better than lowering prices is increasing value.
Simple as that. I've repeated this ad nauseum, so there's no need for a deep dive. But with the upcoming basket of hatred stacked to the top with everything Diablo 4 should have had at launch, and remember, this might just be wishful thinking, they're going to make a Titanic-sized boatload of money and repeat the process all over again.
Of course they will.
Or, and this is a huge or, we can force change and not support this type of decision making. Let's vote with our...
Well, that's what you should do. He's totally right about this. That's how you solve this problem. Is like the reason you want to know why Diablo 4 got rid of Renown? It's because people stopped playing the game as much. That's why Blizzard changed everything in the middle of Shadowlands. They didn't change everything because they finally agreed with us. They saw everybody was like quitting the game and they said, oh my God, we need to actually start listening to the players. It's the same thing that happened with Throne and Liberty. Like, wow, this game is completely fucked up. NCSoft stock goes down, and then suddenly all of these changes happen. The developers say we were wrong, and somehow the game is fixed instantly. Right? Or not instantly, but like within like 6 months. How does that happen? Well, it happens because they make it a priority and they care.
Wallets. Let's support the better choices out there. Of course,
he's completely right.
First time.
He's totally right. Yeah, if you want to see other games succeed, support other games. That's it.
And we've discussed some massive Blizzard L's.
It is that fucking simple.
2 weeks back, we talked about how Diablo 4 is making huge mistakes that
Playing last
Path of
Epoch on
Exile
launch?
made a
Yes.
decade ago. They refuse to learn, but that makes for fun and interesting content. Go watch the video now.
Do I think that
I completely agree with everything you said. Oh, Jesus, I'm so sorry, guys. It's so loud. Anyway, yeah, I completely agree with this perspective. If you don't like the way the game is going, stop playing it. Stop supporting it. Don't buy the expansions. Don't buy the battle pass. Don't play the season, and just move on. And that will get people to change. Like, I guarantee you. Here's the truth. If whenever the WoW token was added to Wrath of the Lich King, everybody quit Wrath of the Lich King, then they would have taken it out. The reason why they do this stuff is because players don't actually vote with their wallets and vote with their feet. They're not actually moving. They're not actually going anywhere. They're just complaining about it on Reddit. Like, I don't feel like I got my money's worth with Diablo 4. I played the game to 100 twice. I enjoyed the campaign. Everything was fine, right? Like, I played through 2 seasons, and the seasons are free. I did. I got my money's worth. I personally feel like I did. And this is a value judgment that I'm making because I put more than 300 to 400 hours into the game. So, yeah, sure, I think that's fair. However, I'm not buying any new battle passes. I'm not doing any of this new stuff. But somehow, I bought the PoE, like, fucking bundle. I got that one. Support the games that you like and don't support the games that you don't like. Good for you, I didn't. Yeah. And, like, this isn't, by the way, like, this isn't me, like, shitting on Diablo 4, really. I mean, all that much. All I'm saying is, like, I think the game could be a lot better, yeah. And, like, I'm even saying, like, I got my money's worth out of the game, and I don't regret buying the game, but the value proposition isn't as good as Path of Exile. Will you buy the Diablo 4 expansion? Probably, yeah. I mean, here's a better question. If I wasn't a streamer, would I buy the Diablo 4 expansion? I would say there's like a 50% chance that I would. Because it would depend on like what other games were out at the time. Because like, let's say Last Epoch comes out or PoE 2 is out at that time. And like, I just see the new Diablo 4 expansion and I'm like, Lamau. Like, I don't really give a shit, right? So I think that there could be a world where I don't buy the expansion. But also, if there was nothing out at the time, maybe I would buy it and try it out anyway. Or also, I could not buy it on release and wait like 3 months and then buy it for $30. Everyone's backlogs are so large, they don't even need to buy games anymore. Well, I don't think everyone is like that. I think it's just people, like, because it's like whenever you're a kid, you have too much time and not enough money. And then whenever you're an adult, you have too much money and not enough time. And so you can buy all the games you want, but you don't have time to play them. Whereas you're a kid, you can't buy the games you want, but you have all this time to play these games you wish you could play. So yeah, I think it's just a paradox of life, right? I mean, that's really all there is to it. I'll link you guys a video. Like Talkative Tree, I've watched a lot of his videos about like PoE and Diablo. Like I'm really glad to see, I'm glad to see his channel's doing a lot better. And like people are talking about this more because yeah, like with ARPGs, I feel like we are getting into an ARPG golden age. I'm going to say it. if Last Epoch is as good as people say, Grim Dawn still remains that niche favorite. You have Torchlight that's out there. Diablo 4 is out there for all of the super casual landies as a gateway drug into hopefully maybe PoE. Because I think that this is what happens, right? It's like you're a new person to the genre. You play Diablo 4. Okay, that was nice. Now what? Well, maybe now try Last Epoch. Maybe now try PoE. Because I think Diablo 4 is a great introduction into what ARPGs are. And if you're a casual dad gamer, I remember Season 2 was actually pretty good for a casual dad gamer, you know? So yeah, I really think that ARPGs are due for a real renaissance here. And I hope that's what happens.